Hey, welcome. You ever get stuck making a big decision, just wishing there was a clearer, more logical way to figure out the best choice for you? Well, today we're going to unlock a really simple but powerful math tool that does exactly that. Okay, so let's just dive right in. We all know what an average is, right? We learned it in school. It seems super straightforward, totally fair, totally objective. But I want you to stop and ask yourself, is it really always the right tool for the job? You know the drill. If we take some numbers, say 1, 2, 3, and 4, you add them all up, you get 10. Divide by how many numbers there are, which is 4, and boom, you get 2.5. Easy peasy. That's the simple average we're all used to. But here's the thing, the really crucial part that we usually don't think about. That whole calculation, it only works because it's based on this hidden assumption that every single one of those numbers, the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4, carries the exact same importance. Think about it, though. Is that really how life works? I mean, when you're picking a new apartment, is the rent exactly as important as how long the commute is? Or when you're choosing a job, is the salary just as important as the company culture? Yeah, probably not. So what we really need is a way to, bake our own priorities right into the math itself. A way to give the things that matter more to us a bigger say in the final result. And that right there is exactly what a weighted mean does. It's just a smarter, way more flexible kind of average, where you get to decide which values have more influence or, more weight than the others. And what I love about this slide is how our source material just boils it all down to this one simple idea. I mean, look at that note. Weight is contribution. That's it. That's the whole game right there. The bigger the weight you give something, the bigger its contribution to the final number. Simple as that. And this just lays it all out perfectly. With a simple mean, it's like every single factor gets one equal vote. But with a weighted mean, you get to be the boss. You decide which factors get more votes based on what's actually important to you. All right, enough with the theory, right? Let's take this awesome tool out for a spin with a real-world example from our source notes, choosing between two different cameras. Okay, so here's our setup. We've got two cameras. At a glance, camera 2 has better image quality, which is great, but camera 1 has much better battery life. So how do you choose? Well, first we assign weights. For us, let's say image quality is huge. It's 50% of our decision. Battery life is pretty important too, let's say 30%, and zoom range is nice to have, so we'll give that 20%. Okay, time to crunch some numbers. Now, instead of just adding up the scores, we multiply each score by its importance. It's super straightforward. For camera 1, we take its image score of 8 and multiply it by our 50% importance weight. We take its battery score of 6 and multiply it by 30%, and so on. Then we do the exact same thing for camera 2. So after we've done all that multiplying for both cameras, we just add up those new weighted scores for each one, and we get our final result. And all of a sudden, what looked like a tough choice gets a whole lot clearer. And what do the numbers say? Camera 1 is our winner. It gets a final score of 7.2 compared to 6.9 for camera 2. So even though camera 2 had that better image quality score, camera 1's solid performance on battery and zoom, two other things we actually cared about, pushed it right over the top. It's the better choice for us. Pretty cool, right? It's really powerful stuff. But you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute. What if my weights didn't add up so neatly to 100%? That's a great question. So let's take a quick peek under the hood. Seriously, it's a fantastic question. What if you just rated how important things were on a scale of, say, 1 to 5? Your weights wouldn't add up to 100. Does the whole system just, fall apart? Nope, not at all. The answer is a really simple step called normalization. It sounds fancy, but you do the exact same thing we just did. Multiply the scores by their weights. And then you just add one final step. You divide that total by the sum of whatever your weights added up to. And this formula right here, this is the master key. It always, always works. It doesn't matter if your weights add up to 10 or 57 or 100. This formula makes sure the logic is always solid, and it gives you a reliable score you can trust every single time. So let's just pull all this together. What have we really learned here? You've basically just added a super powerful, totally personalized tool to your decision-making toolkit. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, a simple average can sometimes point you in the wrong direction. A weighted mean lets you factor in your unique priorities. It takes that gut feeling you have about what's important, and it turns it into a clear, solid number. It just helps you make choices that aren't just logical, but are genuinely right for you. At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this one powerful idea from our source notes. Anytime, and I mean anytime, you're facing a choice where some things matter more than others, which, let's be honest, is almost every big decision in life, the weighted mean can help light the way forward. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've got this framework, what's the next big decision coming up in your own life that could be made just a little bit clearer, a little bit smarter by using a weighted mean?